Hi, my name is Armando and welcome to Success Tips. It's a series of videos that we're posting on our Success Tutoring YouTube channel to help students with school and with learning. Some of the videos are directed specifically to students and some of them to parents of school-aged children. Our tutoring business has been around for over 20 years, and during that time we've helped a lot of students and their families. We give a lot of information during our consultations, and a lot of parents have told us that the information is valuable and that we should make it available to other families also. So that is the whole purpose of these series of videos. Today, I want to talk about learning loss or COVID loss. It goes by other names also. It's basically having to do with the fact that a lot of students this last year did not really learn everything they should have, mainly due to the distance learning format that was being done through the schools. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to hit that subscribe button, as that will help our channels to grow and also to reach more and more families. So let's get started. Some people call it learning loss. Some people call it COVID loss. And some people call it by other names, but basically it boils down to the fact that a lot of students did not learn everything they should have this last school year. First of all, let me just say that I do not blame teachers or criticize teachers, schools, or administrators. They were put in a very, very difficult situation. And basically teachers were not trained on how to make distance learning effective. They were basically told to just make it happen. Some teachers were already pretty tech savvy, and they were able to adapt their teaching style to the distance learning, and they were able to get the information across to students. But a lot of teachers were not tech savvy. Even before COVID and distance learning, teachers were in a very difficult situation. They had sometimes 20, 30, 40 students or more in a classroom. They were expected to teach the entire class a particular subject. And yet they had students of all different levels of interest, different levels of preparation, different levels of knowledge and commitment to actually learn the material, different levels of support from their families also. So it was a very difficult situation for teachers. But the biggest problem really is that teachers, especially with classroom sizes that large, cannot spend very much time individually with each student. There have been a lot of studies over and over and over again that show that the more attention, individualized attention that a student can receive from a teacher, an instructor, the more they learn and the better it is for the student. Well, that's almost impossible in a situation with 20, 30, 40 students. Then you add in the distance learning that was required due to COVID, and it's actually impossible. There's no way for a teacher to be able to spend significant one-on-one time with a student to make sure that every student actually learns the material. They can't do that. Plus, with the distance learning, teachers really had no control. They could not control when a student got up, went to the bathroom, got a snack, or went outside to play. They also couldn't even say anything if a student turned off their camera. So they were teaching and they didn't even know if the students were there. So that made it really difficult. Now that's from the viewpoint of the teachers. Now from the students, now kids, they need to jump, move, scream, run around. They need activity. So to expect them to sit down for hours and just listen to a teacher talk on a particular subject, it's just not going to happen. It's just not, it's not a situation in which students will learn easily. So it's no wonder that there are a lot of students that really didn't learn everything they should have this last year. So what should be done? Well, this is where I should actually jump right in and talk about the benefits of tutoring and our one-to-one tutoring. And I am going to get into that. But before I do that, I want to say this. For kids who've been cooped up for the last school year, who've been having to stay home and sit still in front of a camera, try to learn, things are opening up now. Go out and have fun with your kids. family trips, times where you can get together and have fun. There's a lot to be made up for this summer. Kids need that. Like I said, they need to run, they need to scream, they need to jump, they need to actually, do all the things. They need to be kids. So it's needed. However, don't forget, while all this is being done, that they also need to be ready and prepared for this next school year. And a lot of kids were not. And that's where our one-to-one individualized tutoring comes into play. With us, a tutor can work one-on-one with one student and really make sure that they really get it, that they understand. Our tutoring is done online, but it's very different from the distance learning that was being done through the schools. With us, the students get an interactive whiteboard that they work with this tutor with. When the tutor writes something on the whiteboard, the student can see it immediately, as it's happening in real time. When the student writes something on the whiteboard, again, the tutor can see it immediately as it's happening. Plus, there's a live feed video conferencing application that goes along with it so that they can see and hear each other all the time. So students can ask questions. They can get their questions answered. They can let the tutor know, okay, this is what I don't understand. Can you explain that? And the tutor can do that. And the tutor's main intention is, again, to help that student to really learn and understand the material. The student is not being spoken to as part of a group. The student is being worked with individually, one-on-one. And when tutoring is done like that, one-on-one, a student really learns. And especially when a tutor can make that learning material fun. And that's what our tutors do. So the students really learn. Now that brings up the subject of another topic that I want to discuss later. And that is, what does it mean to learn? There are students that will study and study and study and study for a particular test. They take the test, and then very shortly thereafter, it's all gone. They have forgotten everything. So how does a student learn? How does he retain the information? So that's going to be the subject of another video. I hope that you have found the information on this video helpful in some way. And if so, I'd like you to please subscribe, and by hitting that subscribe button. Again, what that does, it helps our channel to grow and helps us to reach more families. Let us know also in the comments below whether you like this video, you like this format, and if you have any comments or suggestions. Are there topics that you'd like us to discuss? We may take that up. If you know of any families or parents that would be interested in watching this video or that might find the information helpful, feel free to forward the link to the video to them. So until next time, this is Armando with Success Tips from our Success Tutoring YouTube channel. Thank you.